Germany's work is not done yet. There they are, locked together with Slovakia, and guess what? They play each other to close out the group on Monday. That's in Leipzig. Northern Ireland no longer can reach the playoffs as a result of that defeat. Now then, joined also by Frank Leboeuf and Jan Fjortoft. Evening, gentlemen, to both of you. Let's start with Germany. Actually, Craig, give us your reaction to what you saw from the Germans today.
I thought they struggled for long periods against this Luxembourg side. I mean, Germany, Luxembourg, they're struggling. Fair play to Luxembourg for that, but this is a very, I mean, should we call it an average German side? I mean, that's probably been nice. We were just talking before we came on air, and Jan and myself, about Germany, because he covers a lot of it, obviously. And this Slovakia game is now huge. Now, in days gone by, you think Germany at home against Slovakia, very professional, should get the job done. That might be the case. But when you watch this German team play in this group stage, when you watch them play today, there is nothing, and I mean nothing, convincing about them that would take a German supporter and say, oh, this is going to be easy for us come this Slovakia game. This is very much in the balance. Yeah, one of them will go into the playoffs, obviously. But Germany are looking to qualify automatically. Yeah. And if you were to say to me now, will they do it over Slovakia at home? I would say 50-50. Not convinced by this German team whatsoever.
Yeah, and Jan, of course, they already lost to Slovakia in the first game in this group. What's the reaction going to be, do you think, in Germany to this performance in Luxembourg?
Well, as Craig is saying, this is a team that is at a good day, or average team. The problem is German football right now, the German national team, is that Julian Nagelsmann is a bit overconfident, trying to cover or hide that he has no confidence. I mean, first of all, respect to Woltemade getting his 2 goals. We know there's been a problem with the number 9 for Germany. In Woltemade, seems to have found him. Then they have you can have a book out from Frankfurt or whoever. But so he scored the goals, and Sané was put under pressure before this game. He'd been in and out of the squad. But the thing is, this is a big football nation, as we know. I mean, that is an understatement of the night. And they're playing Slovakia at home now. A Slovakian team, you saw the celebration. You saw what was going on there. This is a team coming with that thing. Well, we got everything to win. We go there. We have a go. And when you see this German team now, they let chances to Luxembourg today. We saw that nearly hit the post there. They will be lucky with that Goretzka thing. You have seen referees giving red or the second yellow for that. So this Monday game. This will be a sort of a thriller in Germany, because you just get that feeling that they don't have the confidence to play out teams. And when then Slovakia comes with that self-confidence they having, Germany, aufpassen.
You know, is that where we're at with Germany? That even if they go down to 10 men, they're worried. They're worried.
Up against
they're worried about Luxembourg, and the commentator kept saying, "Well, they need an insurance policy of a second goal." I'm like, really?
Yeah.
But that's kind of where they were. I mean, you think about the other teams at the moment, the elite nations, which Germany have been. You think about, we saw France beat Ukraine. Okay, it wasn't brilliant, but it was 4-0. I mean, they pummeled them particularly early on. You watch how the Spanish play. You watch even England, although they haven't, historically won the same amount of stuff as Germany, not even close. But you watch them play at the moment under a German coach and Thomas Tuchel, before you even get to the South American teams or the top African teams. And then you look at Germany and you think, even if they get to the World Cup, which they probably will, right? They will probably scrape it. Even if they get to the World Cup, how in God's name are they going to compete with the countries that I just mentioned? Never even mind, if they do go into the draw, when that draw is made and if Germany are in it, they will be quaking about some of the teams they may get.
Yeah.
That's kind of where they are, and we saw that in parts tonight against a Luxembourg side that I don't even know what their FIFA ranking is, but it ain't high.
It's not great, no.
That's the thing. Well, you and Jan are talking, you have to check and double check and remind yourself, it's Luxembourg.
Yeah.
We're talking about Germany against Luxembourg here. And it's easy for that to get lost in the mix. I know you go into this game against Slovakia, and everybody's right, listen, Germany are favourites. But I'm sure we've also been on both sides of this coin, in a German side that, under pressure, at home, fans expecting, not really playing with confidence, and a Slovakia team that have absolutely nothing to lose.
Yeah.
They have nothing to lose coming into this and can throw caution to the wind. That is not a good scenario for the favourites' perspective.
Frank, watching this from afar, what's the LeBeuf assessment of this current Germany?
No. I'm worried about them because again, we have to say they played against Luxembourg. I mean, in our time, playing against Luxembourg or some other teams like that, you knew that you would win like 4 or 5, and without any doubts. So I want to believe that Luxembourg have gotten better for sure, and good credit for them. But we all agree that when you see the first 11 of the Germany today, we all know the names. We can consider that big-time players, and they are all-stars. So maybe us, I'm talking about media and pundit, we've been very nice to them because maybe they don't deserve that title. Because when you see what they're not capable of doing against a so-called little team, that's worrying. And maybe they should go back and watch them or look at them in the mirror before calling themselves stars. So we have to make sure that when we next time we name somebody like a big time, he really deserves that, because today all the German team is not good enough to fight for the World Cup, when we have known in the past so many good teams. From Germany, where you will not say, okay, we play Germany, especially the French team, we're going to lose. Every time we play against Germany, we lost because they were too good for us to beat.
Florian Wirtz had another quiet night, Craig. Did Nagelsmann's comments
I think he's just
do anything for the player, do you think?
Remind me.
Saying that, yeah, if Liverpool had better finishes, they would tuck away some of the many opportunities that Florian Wirtz is creating.
Just add Nagelsmann onto the list of bluffers. Managers, honestly. I mean, it's not. Liverpool have finishers. You've got two strikers. One in Ekitike that's been in great form. It's been clear for all to see what Florian Wirtz and Liverpool's struggles have been. He struggled to sort of fit into the pace and the right position, and Liverpool haven't played well. He's suffered from confidence. He's been left out of the team. So yeah, I mean, look, I'm sure Nagelsmann knows this. If he doesn't know it, he shouldn't be in the job. So it's his job, and obviously there's no Musiala, so that's a real playmaker out of the equation. I mean, I would imagine Musiala will probably be back in time for the World Cup.
Yeah.
I don't know the time frame, but that might be tight in terms of getting games. But that would be a huge bonus for them. But it's difficult when you're taking, and we talked about this yesterday with England. Yeah. All these players England have in the forward area, Morgan Rogers and Phil Foden play, and Marcus Rashford and Bukayo Saka and Harry Kane. And we talked about how will Tuchel fit them all in. And one of the things we talked about was, well, we don't know what the form of these players is going to be like come the 2026 World Cup in North America. And what Nagelsmann has at the moment is, one or two, if not more, star players who are actually out of form now. Now, will Florian Wirtz, regain that form as the season goes on and goes into the World Cup buoyant and then full of confidence? We just don't know. But what he has at the moment is a player who's made a huge move and is lacking confidence. And I always say this: it doesn't matter how much you get paid, doesn't matter, whether you're the highest paid or whatever it is. Everybody at times will suffer from a crisis of confidence, particularly when you make a move to a new club in a new country and it's not going particularly well. And that's what Florian Wirtz is facing at the moment. Now, whether he'll turn that around or not, I really can't answer that question.
Yeah. Julian Nagelsmann continues to be sort of criticised and scrutinised for some of his team selections, Jan. But some brighter news for Germany from the under-21s. The Bayern wonder kid, Lennart Karl, with a goal on his debut for the under-20s. It's still really young, but is there any chance he could come into the national team picture?
And to add this, they won 6-0 today. Boys keep on playing like he's doing. He can be like a kind of a mascot in the German team. But listen, we have to be realistic. The three most significant players today are in the team from Julian Nagelsmann. Goretzka is in and out of Bayern. Tom Bischoff is in and out, and Lennart Karl is not playing as well. So they are playing for the under-21. So when we say the players are not in form, but to be fair, Bayern players have been quite good form. They won 16 in a row. Then they had a 2-2 now against Union Berlin. They did well against Chelsea. They did well against PSG. So this is not only players being out of form. Yes, we have Florian Wirtz, but this is also a bit Julian Nagelsmann being out of form. Because he doesn't find his form, to make a word apostle here with the words. So that is the problem at the moment, and that's what I started. Is it seems that when Julian Nagelsmann sees his team, when he sees the quality of his team, it's quite different when every other see this team. They could be in top form at the World Cup next season, next year, we don't know. But at this moment, in this qualification group, they have been far away from being convincing.
Do you know, I don't know if you remember, you probably do remember this, and I'm sure Frank does. There was, the last time I saw Germany, and I stand corrected, playing some sublime football, and albeit Musiala was available at the time. But one player shouldn't make that big a difference one way or the other. Was France, and I don't know if it was France away in a friendly. Was that right, Frank? And they played, the Germans that is.
True.
They played some terrific football that night. And it was like you sat back and went, wow, they're onto something here. They outplayed the French for long periods of the game. Their passing was fast. It was accurate. They cut the French team open. And as I say, Musiala was there at the time. I think Wirtz played as well. And I thought, well, if this is what's to come for Germany, then things are looking rosy going forward. But I haven't seen a performance like that at all in a qualification group where they're playing much weaker opponents than the friendly against the French that night. So I just don't know what has happened to them.
Yeah,
Craig, just to add to that, I mean, they were quite good at the Euros at home. You remember they had this handball from Kukureya. They were quite good at home. At home.
Well, they struggled against Scotland.
Who would?
No wonder.
We all struggle with Scots.
we do.
But I just want to say, but just to build on that point, we thought when we saw that to the Euros, they will build on that and being back to the Germans that we used to know. As Frank was saying, a big football nation like France, they expect to lose every game against Germany. I mean, they had some of the best players, and we thought maybe after the Euros they would build on that, but they have been getting worse after the Euros in this qualification. If I say the top favorites for the World Cup now, if I'm going to say 6 or 7 teams, I'm not sure I will put Germany in there.
Well, Jan, final word on them. Give us a prediction for Monday in Leipzig. After all this talk, are they going to get the job done and win the group?
I think somehow they will find a way, but I think this is going to be one of the great games at the end of this qualification, because in Leipzig, with the expectation, and we know the German media, they will go at them now for 2-3 days, and we'll see how strong they are. And they have some strong characters in there. Now they have to show that they're not only strong characters on the paper.
All right, we shall see on Monday, and then we shall see the Bundesliga return the following weekend. That is the lineup. First weekend back, Bayern at home to Freiburg. The headline game at 9:30 a.m. Eastern on the Saturday. It's all relative, isn't it?
Who was the minnow in that one?
Well, I mean, Finland was still alive for a playoff place at that point.
Right, top of this league, come on.
Minnow goes with Malta, much better than it goes with any other team.
Mighty Finland.
Toppled by the mighty Malta.
Jan, your reaction to what you saw in Warsaw. Poland had the lead, but the Dutch got the result they needed.
They did a terrible first half by the Dutch, but they did what they had to do. And this Depay, I mean, now he is a record goal scorer in Netherlands. He scored 54 goals. And when you think of all the great strikers Holland have had, and you're somehow getting out of your sight. He's playing in Brazil, no Quintas. He's playing there, and he was on there again. He has the second most goals now in the World Cup qualification. Of course, he's a Norwegian, is number 1 there as well. But he's doing well, Depay. Is this Netherlands team a thing that we will put on the first sheet of the favourites at the World Cup? I don't think so.
No, it is a star-studded team when you look at that.
Looks a better team to me than the German team, if I'm being honest with you.
On paper, for sure, yeah.
A couple of little areas where, but there are a lot of good players in there. A lot of good players. It's whether Ronald Koeman can get a tune out of them come the World Cup. Even the first goal was a great ball from Lewandowski, but again, does Van Dijk, does he read it quick enough? He's just sort of staring at what Lewandowski's going to do. He doesn't see the run. So there's a couple of areas of that Dutch team that are a little bit weaker. Van de Ven plays on the left side as a left back to use his pace, which is not his normal position. Donald Mallin's in the side, doesn't start every week for Aston Villa, but still a good, dangerous player. So they have a good side. I don't think it's a side that would scare the living daylights out of the real big guys at the World Cup. But I certainly think if you look at them and the German side, I think the Dutch are a slightly better side than the Germans.
Yeah, Jan said he wouldn't put them on the front page of the favourites. I'm not sure how long that list is on the front page, but would you?
Listen, I've seen you say the same thing about the Dutch every single time I talk about them in a major tournament. They're as likely to crash out in the group stage as they are to go all the way. And let's be honest, you could probably say the same thing about this very Dutch team 3 years ago in 2022, a team that went to penalties up against the eventual winners in Argentina.
Was that the game that you fell asleep at?
No, that was... No,
Which one?
You sent him to did I mention that? We sent him all the way to Qatar, and he had a kip at a game.
Don't listen to him, Abe.
Jet lag, wasn't it? It was early on.
That's a long flight. It's a long flight.
That's the rumour, Shaq.
My point being, this Dutch side, where at times you think they're great, at times they're underwhelmed, but they went all the way to penalties against Argentina 3 years ago. This team has the potential to do as much. We have to wait to see what team shows up.
Have they done enough to impress you, Frank? Can they be genuine dark horses?
No, I don't think so. And I would put the German in the same line and the same level. You know, when you compare Spain, Argentina, I would say France, and maybe Portugal, even if I think that we're going to talk about it, they had a bad result against Northern Ireland. I think those 4 teams are much better than the Netherlands, and it would be very hard for them to surprise the world.
Not many teams capable of winning it. I mean, if we're being honest about it.
Yeah.
Will we get a surprise
Is it
at
the same 6, 7 or 8?
I don't even think it's that many. I don't think it's as many as 6 or 7.
Right.
I think you're looking at a short list of 3 or 4, realistically.
Yeah. Group I gave us... I, Captain, gave us another... Group L. Well, that ruined that bit, didn't it? But Croatia are going to be there. They clinched their spot with a 3-1 win against the Faroe Islands, who gave it a good shot, didn't they, to reach the playoffs for the first time?
They are, in all fairness, the Faroe Islands. Look at the points, 12 points. I played against them on more than one occasion when they were, I want to say a fledgling nation, but they were a struggling nation, very, very small. Yeah. And they're able to get 12 points thus far.
Right.
In this group for such a small nation. Again, by the way, Croatia in this game, watching them going forward, Perisic still bombing down the left-hand side, so quite incredible.
The numbers are growing. What are we up to now? 33 teams qualified? I can't count that quick. Actually, no, it's still only 30.
How many countries in the world? How many countries do we have in the world?
We're going to get to 40.
The Vatican state is there?
Yeah.
No, you cannot qualify yet.
We're going to get to 42 by Tuesday.
If there's any more teams in this World Cup, we're going to have to start the World Cup on Tuesday.
Much more content of this sort available on our YouTube channel. Go join the viewership there. ESPN FC is what to look for. Now, there could lead to a 3-game suspension.
What was the two choices?
Yeah, it was deliberate aggressive action, but was that enough to lead to violent act?
Personally, I think it comes on, violence is one thing, but if we're talking in a football parlance on a field, that has to come under violent conduct.
Yeah.
Conduct, throwing an elbow. I think he caught him in the back, but it's crystal clear that he throws the elbow. There is some contact, so it has to come under the violent conduct criteria. And if that is the case, I believe the statutory ban is...
The FIFA recommendation is 3 games.
3, whether that will occur or not, I don't know. I mean, is there rules for one and rules for others? I mean,
yes, of course
we're going to find out.
I mean, but boys, we agree. There can't be one rule for one and one rule for another, but that's got to go both ways. I mean, you can't You can't just give him 3 games because it's Cristiano Ronaldo.
No, but you give him 3 games
you,
because it was violent conduct. I mean, you can't.
Nah, but we haven't defined that yet. I mean,
Well, it's defined by the elbow.
Yeah, they define the elbow. The elbow can't speak and doesn't make the rules. The elbow is the acting thing. And I mean, please. I mean, I just don't understand that we're gonna punish him harder because it's Cristiano Ronaldo.
No,
Nobody
Oh,
said
no,
that.
that's
Jan.
not the case.
Nobody said
that's
that,
not the
Jan.
case.
I just said that if you say it the other way, that is one rule for Cristiano Ronaldo and one way for
No,
Ronaldo.
No.
If you commit this kind of offence in most leagues, right, under different jurisdictions, you're getting at least 2 or 3 games. I mean, it's not.
Yeah,
this is not Cristiano Ronaldo. This could have been.
Yet.
No, listen. If this was one of the Irish players doing that, he'd get 3 games. It's not. It's not about World Cups and he's going to miss games. It's about the laws of the game and how they're applied.
Exactly, but that's what my point is. We should judge him the same way as we do as anybody else, but it can't be harder punished because it's Cristiano Ronaldo. We have to say
But
that.
hold on a minute. Which person on this panel has suggested that he's getting harder punishment because it's Cristiano Ronaldo? Nobody.
Nobody.
No,
It's just.
Sorry,
Yeah,
just go.
Yeah, that's the rule for the violent conduct. It's normally 3 games, whether it's Ronaldo or somebody else. It's what he's saying. So now you have to define. Well, it's been defined.
And Frank,
It's what he said.
Frank, did you view it as violent conduct? As a man who's thrown a few elbows in his time, was it?
Yes, I did. Even if I think that O'Shea plays it, because he was hit in the back and nothing happened to him. But we all know also that Ronaldo did it 10,000 times because he's a forward player, and like all forward players, they exaggerate everything. So it's not something that we see for the first time. But that's the move that Ronaldo makes.
Screen and wants to have a look and decide what's he going to do with it. He is doing an acting thing that a 12-year-old wouldn't do. Yeah. I mean, this thing with his eyes and all his body language to the crowd, that surely didn't help him. If he wanted to avoid a red card and the referee would stand with his yellow, please stand still. I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo is 63 now and still doing well. And he's doing that acting thing. I don't like that.
Let me also say that I thought it was violent conduct, and I didn't think there was much of a debate to it. And especially as you look at the replays and you recognize that his elbow and throwing it and making contact. And so for me, it's deliberate. It ticks every single box for violent conduct. It has to be a 3-game ban. And that's, I have nothing for or against Ronaldo. I think you do that, you're going to get suspended.
Well, we have a barometer. Sorry, Jan, we have a barometer because in the Slovakia-Northern Ireland game tonight, Dan Ballard from Sunderland, the Northern Ireland centre-half, was sent off at the death for an outstretched arm, which was nowhere near as bad as... in fact, it was debatable that it was a red card, but, I've only seen it a couple of times. But he put an arm out on Lobotka, who's much smaller than him, and he caught him in the eye. He definitely feigned it a little bit. Straight red card, I believe. So he's going to come up for punishment as well.
Yeah.
So... we've got a good... you can't give one person 1 game and another person 3 or vice versa. So, they have something to gauge it against, unless it was a second yellow. I don't think it was in that Ireland game. But it certainly wasn't as egregious as the throwing of the arm, as Shaq said, when he wasn't trying to wrestle a defender out the way. Yeah. He was just a clear... I think there's been some history between this particular Republic of Ireland player and... Ronaldo in match day 1, but that's not to excuse anything. But there's been a little bit of skullduggery there, and Cristiano Ronaldo has reacted, and that's the difference.
Well, Jan, I was going to ask you, is any part of this Cristiano Ronaldo bringing it on himself in some small way by what he did with the celebration in the first game in Lisbon in the face of the Irish defender? Also saying in the press conference...
Throws the elbow. I see he throws the elbow. Then we can discuss this as violent conduct and I think he will get 3 games, and I think he will appeal, and they will get 2. You heard it first here.
All right.
But I think if you read the Portuguese papers today, I can't read Portuguese, so I got them translated. But the Portuguese paper is having a big time on Cristiano Ronaldo, not defending him, saying he put shame on the national team and the country country. And remember, they have to do the business against Armenia. They probably will, but they still got to do it in the next game to be certain.
Yeah. Frank, hypothetical for you. He gets the free game, so Portugal have to play the first 2 games in the World Cup without him, and they make a good start without him. Where does that leave Portugal and Roberto Martinez?
Well, if you make a good start, and especially if the guy who is going to replace Ronaldo is scoring goals, it's going to be hard for Roberto Martinez to move back Ronaldo into the game. That's going to be the reality of football, even with the past of Ronaldo. Even if everybody else thinks that Ronaldo should be back, but if it works that way, that would be the effect of that red card and that conduct, but you have to be realistic. If it works, you have to keep the guy who was there instead of Ronaldo. If it doesn't work, that's going to be an easy task for Martinez. You bring back Ronaldo. So I think everybody want to wish that Portugal does well, and therefore it's going to be tricky for Martinez to put back Ronaldo into the field, even if it's Ronaldo.
I believe that one.
A small theory. Do we think that UEFA will give him 3 games and he will miss 2 games at the World Cup? Will we think that one of the biggest stars on the planet of football will not be able to play in USA? Let's see.
Well, I would imagine. I'd imagine a World Cup in North America will survive without a 40-year-old.
No, but I will be very surprised. I'm with Jan in that I'll be very surprised if he gets all 3. And has to still 3 games. I just think between UEFA and FIFA, they bend over backwards to make sure that Ronaldo misses as few games as possible. Which again, I don't agree with. I think one punishment, one rule for one rule for all, type of thing. And then to your question, Aid, I can't see Roberto Martinez leaving Ronaldo out. Even if hypothetically, still 3 games. Yeah. And they win the first 2 games of the tournament, 2-0 and 3-0. I can't see Roberto Martinez sitting Ronaldo for the third.
Two things, Ed, if I may say. It's not about Martinez letting Ronaldo out. It's about Ronaldo letting Martinez out. Right. I mean, that's how it's functioning. That is point 1. And secondly, will Jack Nicholson not be able to come to the Oscars? He will always be invited. And I think that same thing will happen with the FIFA.
Well, that's the thing.
USA
Roberto Martinez have to knock on the hotel door to find out what the team is.
Exactly.
Lennart Gattuso has been having plenty to say about it, isn't he? Saying, in my day, the best runners-up in every group went straight to the World Cup. Now the rules have changed. To change the rules, you need to tell those who organise these tournaments. Italy's record of 6 wins? You'd have to ask the people who make the groups and the rules.
Now, I must say this before. I'm not going to say anything, but the most laid-back man under the umbrella of the Disney networks walked into the TV viewing room today and said, "Stand aside. You wait to hear my rant on this guy."
I'm guessing you're talking about me.
I think so.
Let me say, so when I first read Gattuso's comments, I thought it was easily the most ridiculous thing I heard. I can safely say, I will say, for 28 years.
Well, and that's a high bar.
And I mean, it is ridiculous on so many levels. And why I say 28 years, because it was 28 years ago, almost to the day, that then Italy manager Cesare Maldini went into a playoff, I think after finishing second in a group with England, and said, why do Italy have to go to a playoff when Jamaica goes straight to the World Cup? And I always remember that as being, at its worst,
entitled.
At its worst, xenophobic.
Right.
At its absolute best, it's entitled. And you're right, Craig. It's an absolute entitlement that I can't begin to explain, or I won't even attempt to make an excuse for. Now, here's the thing. And then Gattuso goes on to reference the number of African teams that will qualify for 2026, the number of African teams that qualified for both 90 and 94. Now, 90 and 94, there were 24 teams in the tournament. And now, keep in mind, everything I say from here on in, UEFA have 55 member nations. Africa, CAF have 54 member nations. In 90, there were 2 African teams, 13 European. In 94, there were 3 African teams, 13 European teams in that out of 24. So for somehow Gattuso to think, well, that is the correct way to do things, that is how it should be, is absolutely beyond me, which again leaves me in the stronger camp in terms of my criticism, as this is just downright xenophobic. Now, the other thing to this is, I don't know why he's calling on FIFA. UEFA make their own rules around qualifying, as do CAF, as do CONCACAF, as do every single confederation. They are responsible. They have their number of teams to qualify, and they decide how you come to that number. Now, everybody else in world football, bar UEFA, have a playoff system. The only confederation that does not get themselves involved in playoffs is UEFA. And I feel that, this is my personal opinion, it's because of this kind of, we don't want to get shown up. Now, to Gattuso's point, you want 24 European teams at the World Cup, have 12 qualify automatically, and put 12 into the playoffs against other confederations, and win all those 12. You have 24 teams. But from the time Italy goes into a playoff, and some African team knocks them out, now all of a sudden, this ridiculous excuse that has lasted 30 years and counting just falls absolutely flat on its face. You want more numbers, speak to the higher-ups at UEFA.
Yeah.
Don't start stealing other people's joy.
Yeah.
Just win your group.
Yeah. Well, that was when he's blaming the process rather than the performance.
Well, you look at the goals that Norway have scored and their goal difference, which is going to take them through. Just win your group. I mean, I know he spent some formative footballing years in Glasgow at Glasgow Rangers, but he looks as if he's been round a few Scottish bars and had his brains bashed out. Seriously,
he's got a Scottish wife too, hasn't he?
Adrian, I'm going to talk before our favorite Norwegian guy who will have the last word. But I totally agree with what Shaka explained and what Craig just alluded. You know what? Because that's absolutely ridiculous. But I want to blame Norway. They have to stop being good and scoring goals and winning games, you know? Yeah. Come on. Come on. We are not used to that. When Jan was playing, they were losing games, you know? So why don't you carry on like that, you know? Why do you bother Italy, you know?
Yeah.
No, that's ridiculous. It's not even a debate. And Jan, you have the last word now.
Before I let you loose on Norway, Jan, any sympathy at all with Gattuso? They could end up winning 7 out of 8 and still have to go to the playoffs.
I highly respect the rant from Shaka. Brilliant said, because first of all, we know that this kind of system now is done by the UEFA because to get more exciting games and all those kind of things. But remember today, we saw just today, we have to see how the football changed. Today, Luxembourg played a great game against Germany. Tonight, Gibraltar, I think they were 1-0 up. In their game. Faroe Island was 1-0 up at Croatia. Things are changing. And if Gattuso starts blaming other nations because Italy's been bad over some qualification groups, he is on a wrong place. I do understand that he will have someone to blame. And I'm one of those who says, let's see the game on Sunday before. I'm in Milano now. I was nail-biting when it was 0-0 against Estonia at home in Ullevål Stadium in Oslo last night and all those kind of things. But Italy haven't been good enough in this qualification group. But then you can't blame other continents. You can't blame any other nation for your failure. As for Norway, we've been fantastic in this group, and we beat Italy 3-0 at home, very deservedly beat them 3-0, and we've scored goals for fun. We've been the best team in this group, so Italy have no one else to blame except themselves.
My God, I tell you what, the Italians, they can't have wine, can't they? Oh my God, it wins and wine when it doesn't go. Norway have won 7 out of 7.
Yeah.
I mean, can Gattuso and some of the other Italians, which maybe there isn't any, I've been very generic about this.
You know, looking at their recent records.
Look at that. Look at that.
I mean,
but I mean, Norway, who have struggled for many a year. You know, 98 was the last World Cup. Have a good side now, and Martin Odegaard's wasn't even in the side the other day. He's had his problems, so they've got players to come back. They've got amazing strikers. They got very tidy midfielders. They got defenders that are playing at good level, and they're a threat now. They are solid outfit. Play some good football, score some great goals. They've won 7 out of 7.
Yeah.
At what point can the Italians and Gattuso not do the math? They could win 8 out of 8. That's taking you to any major tournament.
Yeah. Jan, you were there in Oslo last night. There were reports of you doing cartwheels down the streets after the win against Estonia. What was it like? What was the night like?
It was unbelievable because, I mean, back in the days in the 90s when we qualified, it was a surprise to everybody and most to ourselves. I mean, when we were in a group with Poland, Netherlands, England and Turkey and San Marino, we had no clue what we were doing. We suddenly found ourselves being top of the group. This one is a bit different. As Craig is saying, the last time we qualified was in 1998. We've had some good players, but now we have a good team. Also credit to our national coach, Solbakken, has managed to make that harmony in the team. And then you have, of course, you have Erling Haaland. I mean, I heard a commentator on the Netherlands game and giving a big compliment to Depay. He has scored 54 goals in 106 games, and Erling Haaland now scored 53 in 47 games. Record used to be, I think it was 34, and this guy lived like 100 years ago. I mean, so Martin Ødegaard, Erling Haaland, Nusa, Oscar Bob, Sander Berge. We have great players going forward. We are a bit weaker at the back, but we can kind of hide that by being good organized. But yesterday, I guess Estonia, we had to win. When you saw that table, Italy could have had a chance then coming here that if they win 2 or 3-0 against us. We 0-0 to half-time, and then we start doing what you have to do with Sørloth. And I forgot Sørloth, who's playing for Atletico Madrid. We start bringing crosses in, and then we scored 4 goals on crosses. So it was a great night, but we didn't party. That was the thing, because first of all, we can, in the theory, lose 9-0 to Italy. Gattuso will find a way. And secondly, it was more expected that this team now had to go all the way.
Well, they were dancing in the streets in Kongsvinger.
Kongsvinger.
Yeah, Kongsvinger.
That is brilliant.
Yeah, I went on pre-season there. Beer's very expensive.
I know.
Shouldn't drink in pre-season. That's another story.
Is that north of the Arctic Circle?
I tell you what, you know, Norway are going to qualify because Italy are not going to beat them by that. In fact, Italy are probably not going to beat them. And I generally hope they don't. I know what I'm saying. Normally it should be very, you know, what's the word I'm looking for?
Fair and balanced?
Yes, should be very balanced. But on this occasion, from all this whining, I really would like to see Norway go there and basically stuff it up them, right? And take the 8 wins out of 8 wins out of 8, and send a message to Italy: the playoffs for you. It's not about what they're doing in Africa. It's not about what they're doing in other qualification regions. It's about the fact that one team was absolutely magnificent in this group, and you were not. Now, it's not all been Gattuso, because Spalletti was in charge and didn't do a very good job. But for him to come in and say this is ridiculous, and I think it would be a nice touch the way Norway have played in this campaign, which has been amazing, is to go to Italy and put the icing on the cake.
I can't laugh because I'm sitting in Milano, so I can't laugh. But good point, Karl. Good point.
3-time
If you
winners.
get the chance to go to Kongsvinger.
3-time winners of the World Cup, no less.
And he basically stuck 2 fingers up and said, sit down.
I'll just stick it top corner.
Jan,
How annoying is that? Now, listen, we'll not start with set piece coaches. No, sorry, Adrian.
any preference if it comes down to those two? There's some other great goals as well in line for the award, but between those two as a striker, what are you going for?
Oh, that is hard. I mean, Jamal doing it in quickness, coming into a fantastic balance, have a view. Free kick is good, but still you have a chance. It's like a kicker doing that. I think sometimes in these nominations, too often is a long shot. I mean, there is some luck as well, how you hit the ball. I like the small details and small things. So if I'm going to choose between those two, I will go for the Barca star.
I mean, they won.
Yeah.
I mean, Jamal is hitting a rolling ball.
Yeah.
You know, Declan Rice is hitting a dead ball.
Yeah. Frank, you get to cast a vote?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Declan Rice for the reason is it goes. You're talking about details, you know, the atmosphere, the game that you're playing. That was a Champions League game against Real Madrid, full crowd. When you can see some pictures where the stadium is a little bit empty on the Yamal goal. So I go with the atmosphere and everything, and the picture that I see. those two goals are absolutely fantastic. And as Shaka explained, Lamine Yamal is fighting against an alive ball, where Declan Rice is being a dead ball. So, but what I see from behind, the power that Declan Rice puts and going in the top corner, I have more emotions than the Lamine Yamal. Is why I'm going there.
Yeah. All right, it's award season. The Marta Awards have already also come out. One of those awards that's named for someone still playing, of course, and still scoring plenty. There's your list of candidates. Viviane Miedema is on there. All right, here we go with this edition of ESPN FC Extra Time. And this time, I actually
should have seen his face yesterday, Shaq.
Yesterday, I was
he comes in.
Wait a second.
There's only him and I. There's only Aid and I. And we come in, and he goes, "Welcome into FC Extra Time." And I'm thinking, I said, "You ain't got the questions, have you?"
Right.
And he went,
I'm missing something. Something missing. I couldn't quite put my finger on it.
Ask something here.
All right, let's get going with Ezio, who says, if each of the guys were youngsters in a football academy in today's era of football, how do you think their football would develop? In contrast with how it actually developed in your era, would they play the same position? Would they play in the same clubs?
You know, things have changed so much, and I don't know about the other guys' experience, but my experience, without going into a long story, because
it's extra time. You can
try and brief it up in some sort of summary, is when I moved to Chelsea at 16 years old and down to London, what the apprentices did then, they mucked in and did all the jobs, they got all the professionals' kits ready, they washed it, they cleaned the boots, they cleaned the toilets, they trained, they got the balls and bibs, they cleaned everything, got ready for the next day, and then you had less time to work on the technical aspects of your game. But you learned a lot through the hardships of what it was going to take to be a professional, i.e. doing all the hard graft behind the scenes. Now, which one is better? I think there's an argument for both, because one certainly grounds you a lot more and the other one should help you on your technical side. So, you know, back in the late 80s and early 90s, the youngsters did all the dirty jobs that nobody wants to do, and then only they worked on the actual footballing side of the game.
Yeah.
Whereas the youngsters don't do that now. There is a mountain of team behind the scenes that do all the crappy jobs, and these youngsters, you know, just concentrate on the ball skills and the training and all that sort of, and Craig, the diet. It's just different now.
Yeah, Craig, it only works for England. That kind of work that you were asking for to the young players, the boot boys. It didn't exist in France. It was forbidden to do that already. Yeah. So we didn't have that. And when I was at the academy, I was just following courses like a normal guy going to school, and then we were training in the morning and sometimes in the afternoon. But the football has changed so much. So I don't know how would I behave nowadays. What I like is the fact that I wasn't the biggest, the strongest, and the best defender in the world, which is kind of the case right now with the defender. So I guess it would have been a perfect world for me.
Yeah. Would it have been different for you, Shaka, in this era?
Well, yeah. I
came through the college. You came through the college system.
I went to university here in the States before going out to England. So yeah, it definitely would have been different for me. It's just such a contrast from what I did. I can't say where.
I cleaned the boots of Mickey Hazard and Graham Roberts and people like that. And I remember as a youngster, and the old Franco remember the old training ground at Hayes and Harlington, which was rented from the university. It wasn't salubrious at all. And I remember at 16, 17 just walking in after training to pick up all the dirty kit and the towels and everything. But there was a couple of pros in the dressing room. Who shall remain nameless, and I walked in to pick up all the garbage and all the gear, and they were like, "What are you doing? Get out! Get out the dressing room! Don't just walk in here. When you want to come in here, you knock and ask to come in. You go out and knock and ask." So I went out, closed the door, and knocked on it, and they said, "What do you want?" I said, "I've come to get the kit." They said, "Sod off." You were like, listen, it was just different.
Yeah. Yeah, and
I think it's really interesting. We just in the main show we talked about Norway. I mean, to the question, if you see all the young kids coming through the system of Norway now, is it because as we is doing that system much better? It's no secret that Frank's background from France, I mean, that was an example nearly for whole Europe, how you develop your players in your country. And now we've done that as Norway. My background, I come from a very small village with 900 people. When I was 14, my dad was my coach. And I said to him, yeah, but that is a problem because you are half of the year, you are at the oil ship. And he said, yeah, that's no problem because the guy on the other shift who is half a year home, he can train you there, but he's never been a coach. So this is 5 years before this is 5 years before I played for my country. What I will say is that maybe we had a passion, maybe we had a will. I was very good at training, the finishing and all that kind of things. When I see back on my career now, I would love to have understood it, or have someone to tell me to work more in the strength, more on your details, more in the sprinting things. I remember when that got in fashion in England around 95, 96, when you got special coaches in, I was nearly coming to my 30s and I felt progress. I felt I got better. I mean, imagine how good I could have been. Maybe, Frank, I could have been a world champion like you. I mean, no idea how good I could have been.
I'm just picturing it. Yeah, picturing it.
Is your parents, your dad's still alive?
My dad is alive, yes.
He must be all that training, all these years, he must be so proud of you having watched that video, getting beaten by a fish.
Boys, I have to tell you, my guest at the game yesterday was Karsten Warholm, the 400-meter hurdles winner, the gold medal winner. And he came in with his coach and he said to me, Jan, that video of you, because that was in their event, I was ruining that, and they said, I have never seen a way of running as you did that. That is the funniest video I've ever seen.
All right.
Just realised I played with way too many Norwegian players.
You did, didn't you? Yeah, there was a lot in your era.
Grodas.
Yeah.
Ellen Jonsson.
Yeah.
Lars Bohinen.
Oh.
Vidar Riseth. Oh my God, and the list goes on.
Yeah.
Erling Haaland, the only one you had to, when I have said that before, but I was sharing room with him and in the national team, I had to wear shin pads when I was sleeping.
All right, Stevie's mint dealer has resurfaced with another question. I don't know how he has
Did I ever
time.
tell you about the time that I dropped my teeth in Ellen? This is a true story. Sorry to interrupt. I put, as you know, when I used to play at Chelsea, until I finished, I had dentures, right, on the front because they were knocked out. And I used to put them in a pocket, obviously when I was out on the field. And by mistake, I put them in Erling Jonsson's pocket, who was sat next to me, and in the dressing room. And I was in the shower and taking a lot of time after a game at Stamford Bridge, and he got dressed quickly, right? And left and went home.
Walked off with the dentures.
And I had to call him. And he was halfway across London in a car, and he had to come back with my teeth.
Only in England. Only in England.
I said, Erling. He says, what is it? He says, I said, you'll need to come back to Stamford Bridge. He says, why? I said, put your hand in your right-hand pocket. You've got my teeth. I tell you, he was not a happy chappie. As you know, the traffic in London is not the best.
No.
Oh, wow.
No.
But he delivered them.
Yeah.
In all fairness.
Yep. All right.
Just
that was
it's like,
very entertaining.
Yeah, you know we go on
well, you can't. That's very important. You know, you can't go anywhere without your teeth.
No, you cannot.
Important.
Stevie's Minister wants to know which team from the bottom three at the Premier League table right now has the best chance of turning around for a mid-table finish. Wolves, Forest or West Ham? Who wants to...
West Ham. I'm going for West Ham.
I knew you were going to say
No,
West
Not
Ham.
biased at all.
You have to have a reason.
Not biased at all.
Forest.
No, you have to have a reason. It's not randomly. You say West Ham. You know?
Nuno Espirito Santo will turn things around. He'll get it organised and he'll turn things around.
You're saying Forest.
Forest, because they've proven with the players that they've got that they can play an organised style, and they have a manager who will organise.
Yeah.
So they're kind of going back into the Nuno Espirito Santo way under Sean Dyche, and I think that will benefit them.
Frank, who's got the best
Yeah,
shot?
I agree with Craig. You know, according to what I saw last season and the player that Forest still have, I think they have the biggest chance to get out of that those 3 last points.
Yeah. Any disagreement, Jan?
No, not at all. I agree with the boys. The quality of the players in Nottingham Forest that's the wrong position anyway. And now they got a manager who kind of will develop that even further.
Yeah.
Once saw Erling Jonsson. Right, I have to say this. This is true. This is true.
Dangerous story.
No. Listen, we every year we used to go to Cheltenham races, as you know, the Cheltenham Gold Cup, big horse racing in the UK once a year, and the Chelsea boys, we used to go there once a year for Gold Cup Day, and we said to Erling, the boys all said to Erling, listen, last year you were on the edge. Well, let's just say...
I know what that means.
No, let's just say that alcohol affects Erling a little different.
Right.
Last year you were on the edge, you know, and he's a big man to be on the edge. Say, listen, pace yourself this year. Pace yourself, right? He said, yes. No, but I'm pacing myself, right? 3 hours later, right? Somebody's got a leg, somebody's got the other leg, and 2 people have got the arms, and he's getting carried from the corporate area of the Cheltenham Gold Cup across all the muddy fields back to the bus. I thought I told you to pace yourself, and he was like that.
I mean, hello. This is Erling Jonsson, one of my best friends. I have to defend him now on American TV. I mean, I have to call him tomorrow, and I'm sorry, Granddad, because he's a granddad now. Sorry, Granddad, you've been all over American TV about being pissed at the horses.
Ask him about how drunk he was at the Cheltenham Gold Cup.
Don't start again. Erling Jonsson, and we all know that. Very good attitude, player of the year in Chelsea, fantastic football player, and a great mate.
If he's your friend, you know, tell him thank you, because he gave me the first goal, the good assist with his left foot. I think that was mostly an accident with his left foot. He gave me a cross, and I headed it and I scored. That's because of Erling Jonsson. I scored my first goal for Chelsea.
I will call him tomorrow and say that, Frank. And for those who don't know Erling Jonsson, if Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Terminator met Erling Jonsson as his top, he would turn around Schwarzenegger.
All right.
Because Erling Jonsson, he was a tough,
I know what
player.
Listen,
That's true.
He came out with one of the great lines one day. Sorry to move it, but again, there may allegedly been some alcohol involved here.
Allegedly. Yeah.
No,
Stop.
no. We didn't do it very often, Jan, but we met. We all about 20 of us met in a London pub one night for a bonding session, and again, Erling struggled with the pacing himself part of it. So anyway, him and Kevin Hitchcock, who was my best man, and he's an East End of London boy, so he's a bit of a hard guy, and Erling's a big guy. Well, they started punching each other, right? But not
as you do,
and it was getting harder, and harder, right? But it wasn't full out, but it was going that way. So we split them up. Anyway, it was like, the drink was involved. So Erling walks in the next day to the training ground at Hayes and Harlington, and he walked into the dressing room and he went, another embarrassing evening.
This is the Erling Jonsson show. I mean, unbelievable.
Tell him he's famous in America.
Yeah.
But a bonding, for all those Americans listening to this, a bonding session in England is not like a bonding session in any other country in the world.
Well, Jan, moving on. Question for you, because you brought up America.
Okay.
Dan's Fancy Dress Shorts wants to know, Jan, with Norway looking set for qualification, what advice would you give the team about playing in North America based on your experience in '94?
Stop drinking.
First of all, no. I mean, we lived at a place and we were so prepared. We were so prepared on everything. Just we done everything wrong. We trained with these plastic bags at home anyway to get used to the warm. That was what we did. It's terrible. We played Sweden before the World. We played Sweden before the World Cup. They had Dahlin, they had Brolin, they had Stefan Schwarz. They had a fantastic team. Remember that? Henrik Larsson. I mean, that fantastic team. And we were trying to do everything new. And it was so hot. I mean, we can't believe how hot that was during the 1994. And in the middle of the day, one of my teammates, a guy called Mini Jakobsen, he organized a tennis tournament in the middle of, it was a humidity of 120 and 50 degrees. And we were crawling around. We trained too hard and did we had a time of our life. I'm so proud to have played at the World Cup in the USA, but the preparation were bad, and the general secretary of the Norwegian Football Association, now he was in that squad, so we have learned. So we will prepare ourselves a bit better now.
Just shows you how antiquated back in the day the thought process was, and at club level, players used to do it as well with bin bags and trash bags, or whatever you want to call them here, to sweat. Jan saying they trained with bags on them to prepare for the heat in America. So that way of thinking is you're dehydrating yourself
Exactly.
to come and play in a hot country where you're going to have to hydrate. But it just shows you how back then, people just didn't grasp the sports science part of it.
Yeah. Well, Jan, follow-up question for you. Given the preparation that Norway are going to be undergoing, perhaps, will Norway go further in the World Cup than England?
Well, let's put this today. I mean, I've been traveling through Europe. There are going to be 6,000 Norwegians in San Siro on Sunday. I mean, and all of them were on my plane. So based on a very unofficial survey, Norway will not only win the World Cup, we won't concede any goal, and Erling Haaland will score around 25 goals at the World Cup. So that's the mood of Norway just right now. Quite realistically, I think it's all depends. The 5th of December, the draw, who we're going to draw. We have weaknesses at the back, need to be said. We need to have our key players going. As Craig was saying in the show, Martin Ødegaard not even playing at the moment. He's decisive for us, and you have to keep that big man up front going, because when you have him, again yesterday he had I'm not saying he had a day off. He just had a typical Erling Haaland. He was doing his stuff, being a leader, being the captain, and then bang, bang, bang. Then him and Sørloth have scored 4 goals in 10 minutes.
Our preparation was for, I think it was either Euro 96 or France 98, but I think it was Euro 96. We came to the US here both times, and our preparation was we invited Rod Stewart to come and train with us.
Make you run faster.
I love that.
No, we did. He did. He came and trained with us, and worryingly didn't look out of place.
If I can say, we stayed at Princeton. We did everything wrong. I mean, we haven't learned from the French or the Germans, because we knew best ourselves, of course, in 1994. So after we moved out of Princeton, Bulgaria came in with Stoichkov. They were only swimming around, drinking beer and smoking cigarettes. Yeah. And they got further than us, of course. They did everything wrong.
We went to that evening, or the next evening, a Rod Stewart concert in Madison Square Garden. And we were all, and this is true.
That's not inspirational, I don't know.
We were up on the stage doing the Congo.
Yeah.
He invited I don't know how many Madison Square Garden halls, maybe 20,000 or something. Anyway, this was soccer was happening here, but it certainly wasn't as big. So he said, here's the Scottish soccer team, and we're up doing the Congo, and 20,000 American goes, who the hell are this lot? On the stage. I tell you what, fun. You wouldn't get that now, would you?
No.
And it was a bonding night as well.
Yeah.
I got lost in New York. Oh, that's another story.
Fight, you brought him up.
What, Rod?
Well, Rod as well. Is Haaland the best player in the world right now? To aid this Norway effort at the World Cup, ask AJ.
He's not even in the top 20 in the Premier League.
Frank, is he? Is he the best player in the world at the moment?
Doesn't mean anything. He's a bad goalkeeper. So if you compare him to another goalkeeper, he's crap. So no, he's a really now the best striker in the world. That's for sure.
The hottest property, I would say.
Yeah.
He's the hottest. I mean, he there's a lot of good players, but he is at the moment just the go-to man, isn't he?
Right.
Week in, week out for club and country.
Yeah.
Just to define him yesterday, boys, at the end. I mean, He didn't go into the dressing room. He just got a jacket on, didn't take a shower, just came out with his match fit, put his jacket on, didn't talk to any press, put himself in the bus. They were driving there 10 minutes to the hotel. They stopped, and he went into a Hamburg shop and bought 60 hamburgers for the staff and the players, and then they went back to the hotel. That's where he is at the moment.
Great stuff, boys.
Well, he can't go out incognito, can he?
No, he can't.
No.
It's a bit difficult. Bit difficult.
You know. Well,
How are you going to disguise that?
Maybe put a false nose and some glasses on him. Get away with it. I don't know.
Your teeth. Use your teeth.
Yeah.
So an extra time, just to sum up, that included dentures and bin bags and
Rod Stewart.
Rod Stewart. Yeah. You only get it one place, don't you? Right here. ESPN FC, of course, available daily